When you are going out of your way to try and burn off the calories, when you're trying to burn off that Christmas dinner, actually, you are not expending any more energy than you would have done if you didn't work out. I know it's crazy, it's difficult to get your head around, but this is what the research has told. Have you ever wondered why, despite consistent exercise, weight loss seems elusive? What if I told you that the way that we perceive exercise and its connection to weight loss is misinformed, and that the science shows that exercise doesn't drive extra calorie burning in the way that we've been told? Welcome to the Thriving Metabolism, where today we're going to be exploring the science behind how exercise really impacts your body and weight management. If you're someone who tends to go for the maximum calorie burn, then you're going to want to listen to this one. I'm Louise Digby, registered nutritional therapist, women's weight loss expert, and the founder of the Nourish Method, a personalized weight and health transformation program for women over 40. So the traditional belief is that weight loss is directly linked to exercise. And what we're told is that when we work out, we burn a certain amount of calories, which helps us to get into a calorie deficit, and that's what helps us to burn fats and lose weight. However, we have been misled. That is not how it works. Yes, we do burn calories when we work out, but what the research shows us is that when you compare people who are working out every day to people who are not working out, they're sitting at their desk for most of the day instead, those two groups of people burn a very similar amount of calories during the day. And the reason why this happens is because if we're not burning calories through exercise, we're burning them in some other way. We're burning them through the mental energy we expend. We're burning them through the stress that we experience at work. And you might be thinking, well, those people that are exercising are probably also working and burning mental energy and having stress. So surely they're still burning more calories. But what we know is that our bodies adapt. So if we burn more calories when we're working out, we adapt and we expend less energy on other things during the day. And the result is that the people that are working out are burning a very similar amount of calories to the people who aren't working out. Mind blown, right? Doesn't that just flip everything that you thought you knew about exercise on its head? When you are going out of your way to try and burn off the calories, when you're trying to burn off that Christmas dinner, actually, you are not expending any more energy than you would have done if you didn't work out. I know it's crazy, it's difficult to get your head around, but this is what the research has told us. So what I want you to understand from this is that going for the workouts that get you the maximum calorie burn isn't necessarily going to be the best way for you to lose weight or get back on track after a big blowout meal or holiday. In fact, going for those really high intensity workouts or long workouts that burn loads of calories could actually be setting you back and setting you up for weight gain. And the reason for that has nothing to do with how many calories you're burning. The reason for it is because when we do really high intensity workouts or very long workouts, or we essentially over exercise, that can drive stress in the body. It's quite a stressful experience for the body. And that can drive up the production of your stress hormones, particularly cortisol. And we know that when we have elevated levels of cortisol in the body, that can drive the storage of fat around your middle, and also the breakdown of muscle tissue, which we don't want when we're trying to lose weight. We want plenty of muscle when we're trying to lose weight. So doing too much of the intense stuff can actually have the opposite effect of what you would think it would have, because the calorie burning doesn't work in the way that we thought it did, and also because we're driving stress in the body, we're driving inflammation, and therefore driving weight gain, particularly around the middle. So if you're finding that no matter how much exercise you do, you just can't shift the weight, particularly if the weight isn't budging from around your tummy, then it may be that you're going a bit too hard, and we need to scale it back and be a little bit more gentle in our approach to exercise and not just go for that aggressive calorie burn. So exercise doesn't help us lose weight directly in the way that we thought it did, but it does help us to lose weight indirectly. And the reason for that is because exercise does so much for us. It's still a really good thing. I'm certainly not poo-pooing exercise. You know, it helps us to sleep better. It helps us to manage stress. It helps to balance our hormones. It helps us to feel good. And all of those things are really, really important when we're trying to lose weight. Let's start with stress, because we've been talking about that a little bit already, and the production of stress hormones when we go a little bit too hard with the exercise. And stress can come from, many different things, not just over-exercising and not just, the obvious financial pressures and family disagreements and that sort of thing. Stress can come from many, many things. Pain is one way that we can experience stress. Not eating enough is very stressful for the body. Not sleeping enough. There's lots of ways in which stress can manifest in the body. And these are all things that will have an impact on your weight loss journey. Because just like with over-exercising, all these different types of stresses will drive cortisol to increase in your body, and that will drive fat storage, which we, of course, do not want. And it's well known that exercise really acts as a stress reliever. It helps to release endorphins, it helps us to improve our mood and ultimately reduce our stress levels. So exercise very much still has a place to help manage your stress levels or your cortisol levels, but particularly if you are someone who is very stressed, that's even more reason to go for the lower impact or lower intensity exercise to not exacerbate that stress through exercise. And of course, managing stress and managing mood has a big impact on your weight loss progress, because if we're feeling less stressed, if we're feeling in a better mood, we're less likely to be comfort eating or stress eating. We're less likely to be just grabbing food as fuel, and instead making informed food choices and choosing nourishing foods that are going to be supporting our body towards thriving and building a healthy metabolism, as opposed to just picking up quick and easy things that are going to keep us going. Now, another benefit of doing exercise that is aligned with your body is improving the quality and the quantity of your sleep. We know very well that exercise has this impact, and this has so many benefits for us. And I talk about it all the time because I can't emphasize enough how important good quality sleep is for your health and your weight management. If you are sleeping well, that is going to help to balance out your hunger hormones. It's going to help to reduce inflammation in your body. It's going to help to make you more resilient to stress. So that's going to help to lower your stress hormones. It's going to help with your digestion and your elimination of toxins and sex hormones. It's going to help your thyroid to run properly. All of these things that I'm listing are absolutely critical to weight management and having a healthy metabolism, but also just a healthy life generally. So if you're not sleeping well, then that is going to be a really big thing that is going to just disrupt your weight loss progress. So exercise and doing exercise that is really supportive of your body is going to be something that is going to help to improve that sleep and get you all those benefits. And all those things, regulating your hormones and your hunger hormones, thyroid hormones, sex hormones, that makes it so much easier to make good food choices, because you're able to make choices based on, what you know is good for you, as opposed to cravings. And again, that kind of inherent drive for just getting energy into your body in one way or another. When you're sleep deprived, your body just needs fuel, and you are hungrier for a reason, and it's because you haven't been able to recharge overnight. So if you are not sleeping properly, you're more likely to have more cravings. You're going to be less resilient to those cravings and have less willpower, and you're more likely to eat things that you perhaps didn't plan on eating, and eat more of those things as well. Now, all of what we're talking about comes together to have an impact on your muscle mass as well. Now, doing exercise is absolutely critical for keeping your muscles strong and lean. And strong, lean muscles are really helpful for weight management, because the more muscle we have, the more muscle tissue we have, the more mitochondria we have. And mitochondria are the energy factories in every cell in your body, which take your food and turn it into energy and essentially burn fat. So we want to have loads of mitochondria, and that means having good, healthy muscle tissue and plenty of it. So doing exercise certainly helps you to increase your metabolic rate, which means burn more calories, but not at the time of exercise. Like I said before, the exercise that we do, our body compensates and burns burns fewer calories and other things when we've done more exercise. But if we're working on building muscle, then we actually increase our metabolic rate. We burn more calories at rest consistently, not just when we are exercising. So building muscle is absolutely critical. And to do that, we need to be focusing on strength training. Many women that I work with will come to me doing high amounts of cardio, endurance training, and very intense workouts, ones that really get their heart rate up very high. And aside from that driving cortisol levels, it can also lead to you reducing your muscle mass, partly because of how it drives up your cortisol, but also because many people who are doing this type of exercise are not properly refueling after exercise, and are more focused on burning their tissues as opposed to building healthy muscle. So switching things up and going for more strength training is often a really sensible decision. It doesn't mean that you can't do cardio, and it doesn't mean that you should never do it, because that still has its benefits. It's still great for our stamina and our cardiovascular health, but actually focusing a little bit more on the strength training side of things when you're trying to lose weight, or I should say trying to lose fat, is really key, because More muscle means burning more calories at rest, and that means it's going to be easier for you to not only lose weight but maintain weight loss as well. And that's a really key point, because again, if you are not building muscle, if you're just doing lots of cardio and you're just restricting your calories to lose weight, you're going to be losing muscle mass. And unfortunately, that means that you're going to be even more likely to put on the weight again, if you fall off the wagon or when you try to increase the amount of food you're eating. You're much more likely to regain that weight if you have lost muscle mass, which you definitely will have. With not normal diets, about 40% of the weight that you lose is actually muscle, not fat. And then a chunk of it is fat and a chunk of it is water and other tissues. So when you take an approach that's more focused on nourishing your body and strength training, it's more like 10% of the weight that you lose is muscle as opposed to 40%. And that's a massive, massive difference. You're always going to lose some muscle when you're trying to lose fat, because your body goes into a catabolic state, which means that you're breaking down body tissues. But successful weight loss usually looks like a period of fat loss, a period of muscle gain, a period of fat loss, a period of muscle gain, which is one of the many reasons why your weight overall can fluctuate, and sometimes you might not lose weight, but you might actually notice your clothes feeling looser. It's because you're not necessarily gaining weight or not losing weight, but you're actually gaining some muscle as you go through that process. So it's really, really important to not get too hung up on the scales, because actually we want to be gaining some muscle as we go through this process, because that means that it's going to be easier for you to keep losing weight and also keep it off once you get to where you want to be. Now, going back to this all being interlinked, sleep is a really key part of building muscle, because when we work out, what we do is we actually damage our muscles, and that's why they ache in the days after a particularly kind of lifting particularly heavy weights or doing lots of repetitions of certain exercises. And that's a good thing, because that's how we build more muscle. We damage it, and then when we repair it, it grows bigger and stronger. So a big part of that is not just the workout where we damage the muscle, but the repair of it. And so in order to be repairing muscle, we need a couple of things. We need rest. So we need to make sure that we have some sort of rest days. We're not working out intensely every single day. And we also need to have sleep. Sleep is where we do a huge amount of repair. And if we're not sleeping enough, you're not going to be getting the most out of your workouts. So, it's one of the reasons why we sleep so well when we exercise, is because we really need that repair. But obviously, it's not always a case of we work out and then we automatically sleep better and get more sleep. We need to be also mindful that we need to be getting to bed at a reasonable time so that we can get enough sleep for that repair to happen. So don't just rely on exercise to improve your sleep. We want to be taking steps to improve our sleep in other ways, get more sleep overall, work on our sleep hygiene so that we can get the most out of our workouts. You will get so much more out of doing a couple of workouts a week and making sure you get plenty of rest and sleep, as opposed to working out every day and only managing to get 6 hours sleep a night. And then the other thing that we need for repair is to make sure that we have enough nutrition for our bodies to draw on to be able to build that muscle, and that means protein. Now, our bodies are reasonably good at helping us to eat enough of what we need when we have quite a clean diet without all of the ultra processed foods and additives and emulsifiers and things that confuse our body. So, you can rely on your body to a certain extent to tell you what you need. It will give you cravings for proteins, it will give you cravings for vegetables or fruits when you need certain nutrients, but only if you are eating a diet that's pretty low in ultra processed foods. Within ultra processed foods, there are a lot of ingredients that aren't really food. They are actually industrially created edible compounds, not actually real food. And that is very confusing for our bodies, and we can't actually recognize that we've eaten or that we're full, and it really messes up our hunger hormones. So you can't rely on your body to tell you that you need more protein or more salt or whatever it is that you need. So it's helpful to be somewhat conscious of the amount of protein you're eating when you're trying to build muscle, as well as trying to reduce those ultra processed foods as well. So aiming to get protein into every single meal is a pretty good kind of basic rule, and making sure that you get around about 20 grams of protein as a minimum in each of your meals is essential when you are trying to lose weight and gain some muscle. Ultimately, what this all comes back to is taking a holistic approach to your weight loss journey. And what a holistic approach means is really taking a whole body approach and not just looking at how much food you're eating and how many calories you're burning, and instead think about, what does your body need? Okay, it needs real food. It needs whole foods, not ultra processed. It needs plenty of sleep. It needs to be building muscle or maintaining a healthy muscle mass. And you need to be moving in a way that makes you feel good. When you're exercising, focus on doing what makes you feel good, instead of going for the calorie burn. And I guarantee you that if you go for exercise, or if you approach exercise in that way, you're going to enjoy it so much more. You're going to get so much more out of it. You're going to sleep better. You're going to feel less stressed, and it's going to make it so much easier to manage your weight. So if you do one thing this year when it comes to exercise, make sure that you are listening to your body and you're doing things that feel good. And as I've said in a few episodes recently, we really need to use exercise as a tool for overall health improvement and stress reduction, rather than just solely a way to burn calories, because it's not how it works. We lose weight through exercise by regulating our hormones, sleeping better, managing stress better, not through burning more calories. So let that sink in, because I know it's difficult to get your head around, but it is what it is, and it's a really good thing because it lets us off the hook. It means that we don't have to push ourselves to do these really long workouts, these really grueling workouts, these really intense boot camps, and instead we can focus on doing what we enjoy, what makes us feel good, and essentially just moving our body in some way. So I hope you found this helpful and an interesting take on exercise, and I hope that it influences your exercise regime for 2024. If you want to learn more about taking a holistic approach to your weight loss journey, and you want to make sure that you are getting to the root cause of stubborn weight, as opposed to just the superficial stuff of trying to eat less and burn more calories. If you want to get to the root of it and actually improve your metabolism, balance your hormones, reduce inflammation, get your gut working properly, make sure that you've got all the nutrients you need, and address intolerances and all these things that are so important for losing weight in a way that is sustainable and enjoyable, then make sure you check out my upcoming Metabolic Reset. This is a 5-day challenge which is designed to help you lay the foundations for sustainable weight loss. On each day, we'll be going through a different topic in detail, all about those things I've just listed: metabolism, hormones, etc. And we'll be implementing really practical and straightforward tweaks to your diet, your lifestyle, to help you balance these things, repair your metabolism, and get you seeing steady results and feeling amazing as well. So if you know that understanding what to eat to nourish our body and maximizing energy and getting rid of cravings is going to help you to start 2024 in the right way, and you feel like you need a bit of a January kickstart, then this is absolutely for you. So check it out. I'll pop the link in the show notes. You can also find out about it by visiting louisedigbynutrition.com. It starts on January 15th, and I'll really hope to see you there. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you'd like to talk to me about anything that I've discussed in this episode, you can reach me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, by searching at Louise Digby Nutrition. Or if you want to send me an email, you can reach me by emailing louise@louisedigbynutrition.com.